I made a video this morning where I said, if you're overwhelmed by the news about Venezuela or frankly, any other really scary headline that you're seeing in your feed or as you're scrolling social media, set your phone down, walk away, learn to regulate yourself, realize the ways that the regime is trying to manipulate you by getting you in a heightened emotional state. When you are in emotion mind, when you are panicking, when you are dysregulated, it is very easy to manipulate you through your emotions. And we're not going to let the regime manipulate us, are we? We're not going to let them control us. So we need to take the necessary steps to regulate so that we get back centered in that position where we're not being driven by our panic. We're not letting our anxiety run us. We are making good decisions that benefit us, that benefit our communities, that help forward the pro-democracy movement, the resistance against fascism. And I said, maybe go for a walk or watch an ASMR video or do some meditations. And I offered to share my favorite quick meditations that help recenter me when I'm feeling really dysregulated. And I got a lot of folks in my comments on YouTube who are like, yeah, tell us what it is that you do. Because I'm not going to lie, when I saw the news in the middle of the night, I was up really late waiting for my kid to get home from the goth club. And so I saw the headline and I was like, I didn't sleep very much. So as I'm laying there and my thoughts are racing, I'm writing all kinds of fictions in my head. I was like, okay, I gotta get some sleep. I have an early morning. So I took a few minutes and decided to run through one of my favorite meditations for when you're really distressed. When you start to really get in that doom spiral, when the thoughts are just pinging around in your head and you cannot get control of them, you can't quiet any of them. I find this to be one of the most useful meditations for me. So let me just walk you through it real quick. Right, this is a mindfulness meditation meant to ground ourselves in our bodies and in this present moment. This is a very swift but also effective meditation, or it has been for me many times when I'm quite distressed. So wherever you are, take a moment and look around you. I want you to find 5 things that you can see around you, 5 things that you can perceive with your eyes. For me, I can see a squirrel on the elderberry tree right outside my window. I can see the crystals sparkling with light that's passing through them from my grandmother's lamp. I can see the cursive on my wedding license, which is on the wall behind me. I can see my stack of books that I'm always pulling up and reading and referencing in my videos. I don't have my glasses on, so as I look farther out, things are a little bit fuzzier, but I can see my hori from the garden on the floor leaning against the wall. And next to it, looks like there's a dust bunny over there. Okay, so pause for a second and just observe 5 things with your eyes that you can see from wherever you are sitting or laying down or standing. Now we're going to sit quietly and listen for 4 things that we can hear happening around us. As you may have guessed, this meditation is going to count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 through our senses. So 5 things we could see, now 4 things we can hear. For me, the first thing, I can hear my husband coughing in the other room. I can hear my neighbor across the street who's been running a belt sander all day long. Hopefully they're making some good improvements to their home. I can hear child number 4 chatting with child number 2 as she gets ready to go back to college. I can hear the sound of my modem going kind of like creak, crickle, crackle over here on the floor. Now, how about you? What are 4 things that you can hear around you? If it's easier for you to close your eyes, do that. But 4 things that you can hear. Now on to touch. What are 3 things that you can feel around you? I can feel the cold from the floorboards seeping up through my socks and into my foot. I can feel the way that the knitting needles in my hand have absorbed the heat from my hand and are now warm. I can feel the way that the waistband of my pants is cutting in on one side. Okay, now how about you? What are 3 things that you can feel right where you are right now? And now we're counting down. We're down to 2, and that is smell. What are 2 things that you can smell from where you are sitting or laying? I can smell, obviously very strongly, the smell of my coffee, but I can also smell faintly the laundry detergent from the laundry going in the dryer downstairs. How about you? What are 2 things that you can smell from where you are? And lastly, what is one thing that you can taste right from where you are? Is there anything accessible? Obviously for me, it's going to be my coffee. Doing this step down 5 senses meditation, it takes less than 5 minutes and it grounds us in our body in the present moment at the same time. It's really difficult to be immersed in your swirling, spiraling, out of control thoughts when you're having to focus on your senses and what is happening right now around you and how your environment connects to your body. Super, super helpful for me, and I hope that it's helpful for you as well. Maybe I'll make another quick follow-up video here about my second favorite kind of meditation, which is leaf on a stream, which is also one that I use a lot if I'm feeling really, really distressed and my thoughts are just going a million miles a minute. So when you watch these really scary headlines, if they are not helping drive you to action, if they're not prompting you to go show up at a protest or get engaged in mutual aid or find out when your next Indivisible meeting is, if they're not causing you to take action in a way that's helpful, if they're just paralyzing you and demoralizing you, encouraging you to give up all hope, I really want to encourage you to set those news stories aside. Regulate through some kind of activity that grounds your body in the present moment and helps you get back to a place where the regime cannot manipulate you through your out of control emotions. I know it's an act of self-discipline. I promise you, cultivating these distress tolerance skills, cultivating these skills to regulate our emotions, so important, because any kind of authoritarian attempt to control us is going to be through our emotions as much as anything. Y'all, they use fear, they use anxiety, they use apathy, all of those things to help control you and to advance their plans. And we are not going to give them a single victory. So cultivating these skills, learning very simple meditation techniques, being able to ground ourselves, right? Being able to come back into our center and be in a place where we can make good decisions, right? We're not acting out of fear, we're not acting out of anxiety, but we are acting in a thoughtful, helpful, productive way. That's depriving the fascists of their power, and that's embracing our own. So I'm going to leave it there for now, and maybe I'll come back in the next video and talk about the leaf on a stream meditation. And then my daughter requested that we watch some episodes of Psych tonight for her birthday. So I don't know if I'll get a lot more covered this evening. There's so much more that I want to talk about as it relates to Venezuela, but also like not really, because we have a lot of work to do no matter what is happening inside the regime, no matter what kind of predictable authoritarian things they're trying to do. We have things that we need to be doing. And so I want to kind of lean into that a little bit over the next day or so. But I'll leave it there for right now. See if I have time to squeeze in one more video before it's time to go watch Psych.